Sir.
Good evening, Brian Westerman, Main Street North. I'm a 19-year-old college student, and I'm a graduate of Mount Rock High School. I believe that this theater gives us a great opportunity for a place of entertainment for all our young people, just as the whole presentation gave. And some of the riffraff that we've heard about, there are shady characters that are going to be encountered in the theaters in Waterbury, Danbury, the places that our young people are going to be forced to go to see movies. We see a much safer environment with a nice, quaint movie theater on the river view. No shady characters in the cities. It's a much safer environment for our young people to be entertained on a weekend night. Additionally, I think the view that we have a nice, quaint little town is great. I've been a performer of music for the whole senior community my entire life. I've been a musician, and I know that the desires of the senior community to keep this a nice, quaint little farm town is great. I really respect that. But the people who are going to be owning businesses in 50 years, what's going to happen to the town then? If we don't cater to the needs of our young people, what's going to happen to this nice quaint farm town?
Thank you for coming. Any other comments this evening? We did receive some written comments.
Can I just ask one more question?
Certainly.
I think since there's people against it and people for it, I think we should have a referendum. Right. I just think it should be a referendum to the whole town, to be fair.
Sir?
Because there's just as many people for and just as many people against.
My name is Angelo Vicello. I live at High Ridge Road. And when I was in high school, I worked at a movie theater in Danbury. There wasn't much crime then, and I didn't see that as being a problem. I did come into this tonight being very supportive of the movie theater in our town, and I applaud the team here that's looking to bring more development into our town. But I also thought that you avoided some of the questions that were asked, specifically by this gentleman at the end, regarding digital media, etc. I think we live in a society today where everything's on our phones, and going out to the movies and dinner, there's nothing really wrong with that. But there is consequences outside of that. For example, excuse me, you had to convert some of your movie theaters to digital, and I understand that can be very costly, right? All of them. There are factors like you mentioned with Netflix and other ways of projecting these movies, and I don't think we really have hard numbers on how your theater business has grown in the years that you've owned. So if sales have continued to grow with this new age of digital.
We've expanded from 10 to 13.
You still own one movie theater, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was my comments. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comments before we read the others into the record? Okay. So we did receive comments from Joseph Ruggiero of 245 Skyview Drive in Southbury. It's a somewhat lengthy letter so that we can fit the time limitations. I'm going to ask our secretary if she can read the bullet points, the first sentence of each bullet points into the record.
Sure.
Mr. Petrilli.
I'd like to make a motion that we enter these as submitted, and they will be part of the minutes and not read them into the public record.
Okay. Is there a second?
Absolutely.
Discussion? All right. Motion to attach to the minutes for publication on the website without reading into the record. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? They shall be attached into the minutes and published on the website rather than read into the record. So I would this time like to give the project a chance to wrap up. If you have any final comments that you'd like to make before we proceed to our next item.
I'm sure everyone will be happy to hear us wrap up at this point. I just wanted to say, one of the comments about how far along we are, we're not to an application stage yet. Normally we would come to the EDC in just a meeting with the EDC and have a meeting to talk about the opportunities that are here early in the process. The land use process is really where all of this plays out and not hear the criticism about not having studies done after buying a piece of property 3 weeks ago. All of those studies will be done. There'll be full applications. They will be complete. People that know this team know that the reason we have this team is that we come in and we do our homework before we come in and try to put the very best proposal forward. The other part of it is there's no any kind of a presentation here that is not true. What we're presenting is what we're gonna do. So obviously, we've got some details to work out because we're at the beginning of the process. The other reason we came and made this public because is the social media in the newspapers and is so far ahead of us, which is so unusual for an application. Usually we quietly put together an application, then come to the public. In this case, what happened is people were out there deciding whether they liked it or didn't like it and had no idea what it was. So that's really why we're here and why we're here early, and it's also why we can't answer every single question. We thank you very much for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you.